of it.
Absolutely.
Today on DNVR Buffs Live, there's an incredibly important decision tonight, and it's the college football playoff initial rankings. 12-team playoff, first time ever. I can't even contain myself. I'm so excited. Let's dive in. Let's go.
Squad.
Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota Stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. My fellow Americans. Today, we await the decisions of the CFP committee.
Yes.
Very important business.
A pivotal day in the future of this country.
Pivotal day in American history.
Really is.
Truly, though, I'm super fired up for this. This is actually a momentous day in college football history and
Yes,
in Colorado football history.
It is.
For real.
Never before has it been so important for teams around the country to tune in and find out where they fall in these rankings. Because if you were in Colorado's position, last year even, you want to know where you fall, but it's not nearly as important because you're probably thinking, man, a lot of things would have to go our way to get selected into a 4-team playoff. But now there's the auto bids, so basically every good team in the country still has something to play for from that standpoint. And then there's this whole at-large piece that really brings tonight to the utmost importance. Because as silly as it seems with 4 games left, to say, oh, this could be really important, where you start today essentially builds out the path for you.
Yeah.
And if you can hold serve, makes it so that you're able to climb in as an at-large. And it's why that I think that Colorado is going to actually be a little bit higher in this ranking than they are in the current AP poll.
Yeah.
And that would be big. If Colorado comes in at like 19 tonight, you're only 7 spots away. You know what I mean, from climbing into that conversation and potentially getting an at-large bid. If you're a team that wants to get in there and you don't find yourself in the rankings at all tonight, now you start to worry about if there's a path for you at all.
Yep.
A lot of what you said is spot on, bro. And tonight's going to be, like you said, very important for a lot of reasons. I don't want to regurgitate too much of what you said, but one of those biggest reasons is that, right, you get to see how far you might have to climb, right? Again, 4 weeks left in the season. And again, if you're sitting at 19, so to speak, for example, like 7 spots to climb, that's very doable if you take care of business over the next month. And also, too, I think it's going to be interesting to see what this committee values, right? When we're talking about resumes, right? Do they value style points, like teams that have blown out teams, or are they really looking at, non-conference, or, how they perform obviously within their conference? So it's going to be interesting to see, again, what this committee kind of values, looking at, these teams that are fighting for at-large bids as well. So, tonight's huge, man. It's going to be a big deal. I'm excited to see what unfolds.
We'll also find out how they value teams like SMU, who are in this race for the ACC, Miami, of course, and then the Big 12, obviously, where BYU ends up. If Colorado, K-State, and Iowa State are up there, But then also, I mean, you want to get into the Heisman and stuff where Boise State ranks and that at-large bid for the G5 candidate. So there's a lot going on with these CFP rankings. And it all builds off what you said. I mean, it's kind of your starting point here, but it's also a resetting point a bit because we do move on to a new poll, a totally new way of voting for the top 25 moving forward now for the rest of the season.
And it's going to be interesting to see how different they are, right? The AP poll and the committee, how different they kind of view things. That's going to be fascinating as well.
Well, and you almost, like, your initial reaction would be like, they should be pretty similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
But really, the more that you boil it down to, like, the more you boil it down, the people in charge of the College Football Playoff Committee have one job. That is to get this as right as they possibly can.
Yeah.
The AP voters, with all due respect, a lot of them just cover a team.
Yep.
And again, I'm saying this with all due respect, like, we also cover a team. We know how hard it is to watch what's going on in college football on Saturday because you're locked in on your game.
Yeah.
So the AP is a lot more focused on box scores, like tangible numbers, whereas the College Football Playoff Committee has, had this entire season to, make sure they get a look at certain teams, watch film, whatever it may be, and their job is to get it as right as possible, and it doesn't have to be about even records, anything like that. It can just be about who they believe is the most deserving teams.
Pretty much.
Or the best.
A couple projections here. ESPN projected their 12-team bracket. I won't go through the whole top 12. They didn't actually even do a whole top 25 ranking. They kind of did it college basketball style. Last two in, which were number 11, Indiana, number 12, Alabama. First four out were SMU, Texas A&M, LSU, and Ole Miss. The next four out, though, Iowa State, Colorado, Clemson, and Washington State. 247 Sports, they did a whole top 25. Number 25, they had Colorado. On 3 did the same thing. They did a whole projected top 25. Same thing. 25, Colorado.
Interesting.
Yeah, and those next four out you mentioned, Iowa State, Clemson, Washington State, Colorado, that's 17, 19, 20, and 21 in the AP poll.
Mm-hmm.
So somewhat similar, at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Based on those projections.
But that would be, so first four out would be to 16. Next four out. So they have Colorado, 19?
So, this would be 13, 14, 15, 16. They'd be 18 if you actually went through the ESPN projections at the next four out and just put numbers to the teams.
I'm much more in line with that than Colorado going all the way down to 25.
Oh, absolutely.
Jeez.
I mean, we talked about it yesterday. I do think that Colorado will be ranked higher than they are in the AP poll as well. On this ESPN blurb, it says Colorado's best win is at Arizona. Is that their best win? Is that the best thing that you have to point out for CU's resume right now, that 34-7 win over Arizona in Tucson?
See, that makes me think again, that's probably, score-wise, their biggest margin of victory?
It's tied with UCF.
UCF.
Tied with
points.
UCF?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you arrive at that conclusion that Arizona win. Like, I don't know what would make that Arizona win the best one. I mean, it's certainly in the conversation. You look at UCF.
It depends on, do you value dominating a team or do you value beating a better team?
Right.
Cincinnati is a good team.
Yep.
It's going to be completely undervalued in this, but the North Dakota State win was legitimately a very good win.
They're literally the best team in the FCS rankings.
And I think that they would probably be in the top 6 of the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
Oh,
Reggie just said in the chat, like, is that still the case after UCF just did them dirty?
Yeah,
right.
So that probably upgrades the UCF win, right?
But it has to be either the Cincy win or the UCF win, right?
Yeah, the Buffs were 13.5-point dogs in that UCF game.
Yep. So, I mean, look, we are getting to the point of the season where resumes are going to kind of matter. And dropping that K-State game is going to, I mean, we've already talked about it a ton, but that's going to hurt the Buffs' resume moving forward unless they're able to just win out and actually win when it comes to the Big 12 standings and get in the title game.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Colorado's going to have at least one more really convincing win. At least one more the rest of the way. Like, 2-3 score victory. Because, again, when you're looking at
I mean, you have an opportunity this weekend.
Potentially, you absolutely do. I mean, I think there's an opportunity to do that every weekend. I think the rest of the way here, but I think that's just going to be important. Again, when you're likely fighting for an at-large bid, you know, these voters, they're going to be looking at results, how you fared against certain teams, and again, margin of victory is going to be a deciding factor for sure.
It just makes this weekend's game even more impactful, I think, because just talking through it right there, these last few minutes, the Buffs' resume, I mean, part of it is because of conference, but Nebraska, you know, going downhill is not going to help their resume. So this could be this is the biggest game of the season for the Buffs in multiple ways this weekend against Texas Tech. You get a resume win. You're gonna, you know, put a stamp on some Big 12 tiebreakers and where you'll fall in the standings. But also, you kind of legitimize yourself amongst these top 5 or 6 teams, maybe even top 4 in the Big 12, and say that, no, we are above you. We are an upper echelon top 2 or 3 team in this conference.
Well, and what was the stat that Coach Prime shared about the strength of schedule?
10th best, I believe he said.
Let me see.
Strongest strength of schedule.
He said 10th strongest strength of schedule in the country. I don't have the numbers right now, but it's at least like Colorado's combined opponents record right now is like 42-20 or something like that.
It almost makes you wonder, like, would you almost have preferred an Iowa State or a BYU on the schedule late in the year?
Well, and that's what's so funny about this schedule, because, you know, people want to take shots at it now, but when it came out, people were using the schedule as a reason why Colorado was going to win 4 games.
I don't know how many times I heard that back end of the schedule, like they might lose they might finish the season going 0-4, 0-5 or whatever.
Oh, yeah, and even like as recently as after the Colorado State game. You had people being like, cool, this I still have the receipt of someone being like, this is my favorite part of the year when Colorado fans think they're good only to lose out because their schedule is so hard at the rest of the season. So, like, I guess it's a little bit unfortunate. There's nothing you can do about it, though. It's your conference schedule.
Facts.
Yeah.
And the Big 12 severely lacks quality teams this year. It's a lot of good and a bit of bad. And very little great.
So
Colorado kind of dodged most of the good.
Yeah, they really did. So the quote from Coach Prime is, we had the 10th toughest schedule this season, with teams we played to date compiling a 42-22 record on the season, which is obviously really good.
Yeah.
But it's just how it works in college football. People are going to look at that and they'll go, oh, Big 12, you know, SEC, Big 10 or better, you know, all this stuff. It's just how it works.
Yeah. But, and I don't want this to come off as it wouldn't be deserving, but the college football playoff has a vested interest.
Absolutely.
In Colorado making it. Now, again, Colorado has to help them help them.
Mm-hmm.
You got to win out. But if it comes down to it and, you know, we're splitting hairs between Colorado and some other, you know, 2-loss team, Colorado's going to be the one to get in because they have the star power. They bring the ratings. They fill stadiums. Like, it's everything. You know, that's even talked about every year in the college basketball.
Yep.
Like, oh, they're splitting hairs between who's going to be the 1 seed. Well, who gets it? It's Duke, because guess what? Their regional is in Carolina, and they know that if they put Duke there,
and fans going to travel.
They're gonna fill the stadium. So like, this stuff matters. Money talks, and thankfully, it's kind of I don't know. It's a bit of a catch-22. I don't know if that's a catch-22. I might be misusing that phrase. It's interesting for the Buffs. They have to win out regardless. They're not getting in as a 3-loss team.
Yep.
If they win out, things are probably going to take care of themselves.
Yep.
It's true.
Yep.
So, you know, you're either going to be a 10-2 team in the Big 12 championship, and you have a chance to make it in automatically, or you're going to be a 10-2 team who just missed out on a wonky tiebreaker on a 6-game winning streak that is, you know, the most watched team in America.
Yep. For what it's worth, in the ESPN projections, they have BYU as the number 4 seed. That would give them a bye, obviously. 247 has BYU, same thing, at number 4. The On3 projections has them at number 6, so they would play on that first weekend, the quarterfinal weekend, or the first round weekend, I guess. Quarterfinals is you get the bye.
Here's an interesting question. I know we have to hit a break here quickly, but maybe answer this on the other side.
Okay.
Would you rather be 10-2 and have been left out of the Big 12 championship game on tiebreakers, or make the game and then have the chance that if you don't win it, then that actually hurts your resume? I know my answer, but we'll talk about it on the other side.
All right. Let's take our first break. And shout out our homies over at UC Health with the Ready, Set, Code Challenge. You guys know what it is. Big emphasis on sleep. Coach Prime, the chief motivation officer of this challenge, to get Colorado back to its rightful place as the healthiest state in the country. Got to get your 8 hours. Big game this weekend. You got to be rested. You got to be ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's putting your phone down, setting a bedtime, whatever you need to do to get the best sleep that you can and be your best self, but also just to be healthier, whether it's eating right, taking care of your mental health, so much more. If you want to join UC Health's Ready, Set, Code Challenge, click the link in the show notes or go to www.uchealth.org/readysetco. Are you guys still are you messed up with the time change?
I'm not, but
I felt it this morning bad.
my godson was.
Yeah. So in relation you are then too.
Yes, that did mess me up. I forgot really quick before I do this ad. Yesterday when we were talking about, was it easy or was it hard to be a parent? I said it's pretty easy. I forgot to give a shout out because we are most known for our work on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Bro, maybe one of the goated YouTube channels of all time. Miss Rachel. She's doing some magic. You turn that thing on, that kid they could be scream crying. You turn on Miss Rachel, you're good.
Really?
They're locked in for hours.
Who is Miss Rachel? What is she doing?
We don't want to.
Is she like a hypnotist or something?
It feels, bro. I actually locked in for a minute. I'm like, am I gonna get hypnotized too? Like that. That's the type of crazy work she's doing. I said hours. I never tested that out. We try to keep the screen time down, but you probably could. I mean, I feel like it's an unlimited. It's
Sheesh.
Like I was texting Spencer and Kylie. I just called it the Magic YouTube channel. I was like, I only had to use the Magic YouTube channel once today.
Progress.
Anyways, shout out to Empire today. Unbelievable flooring at an unbelievable price. What more could you ask for? They came in and installed this lovely floor for us here. It's been unbelievable because the people that work here just drag these chairs across it, slam stuff, spill stuff, drop stuff, and this floor has held up perfectly. So it's durable. They were reliable. They did a great job installing it, and we can't thank them enough. So if you want to get a new floor from our friends over at Empire today, you can schedule a free in-home visit, and then you can use the code DNVR to get $350 off your brand new floor. It's an unbelievable deal. So get your new floor from Empire today for $350 off when you go to empiretoday.com/DNVR.
So there's more of these.
The chat is all about it.
They know what's up.
That's awesome.
I had never heard of it either, by the way. But they were basically just like, if you need a break, Miss Rachel is the go-to.
Shout out Miss Rachel. All right. We do have a lot to get to, but a couple shout outs. Shout out to our Discord. The homies in the Discord, they went and bought a brick for the Buff Walk.
Yes.
And they sent
way.
us one right here. It's on the set.
Damn, I didn't even know.
It says Buff
tough.
Nation, let's go. DNVR Diehards. I think it says something else on there, but shout out to those guys for coordinating that.
Okay.
out.
Yeah,
Crazy.
really, really cool. I had no idea that they even we were even still able to add to the bricks, because that was like a big thing when they made the Champion Center. It was like part of the fundraising campaign for that. A lot of people have cool bricks down there, so now we have one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure they sent the guys a map of where it will actually go in.
Yep.
And so we'll be able to go visit our brick
Go
at
crazy.
Folsom Field, which is pretty badass. So shout out to the Discord for organizing that.
For sure. And then everyone in the chat, tell Alyssa happy birthday. Shout out to the FDP. Happy birthday, Alyssa.
Happy
Legend.
birthday, Alyssa.
All right. Press conferences. We'll start with Coach Prime. Obviously, we talked about it all yesterday, and everyone was super excited after the weekend because the Buffs won the bye week. everything went your way. Coach Prime was asked about the bye week and moving up in the Big 12 standings today.
About that. We don't care about that. I mean, every game is a playoff game to us. It's been that way all season. I think Shedeur made a comment early in, I don't know if it's the Big 12 press conference, that, every game we play is like a darn Super Bowl to people, not only to them, but to us, and it is. So that's the way we're going into it. Every game is a playoff. It's a single elimination tournament, and we plan on approaching all of them with passion, with purpose, with consistency, with focus, and that dog-like attitude. We had a great practice today. God darn it, we had a great practice. It was so good, I called them up in the middle of the practice, and they thought they were going to get chewed out. I said, thank you. I like this. I like what I'm seeing. So I'm proud of the young man as well as the coaches.
So I haven't seen it yet, but apparently it's in Well Off when Coach Prime calls the team together during practice. And it's just a tweet I saw, but he said this looks like a playoff team.
That's badass. I don't know if I've ever seen Coach Prime do that.
I don't think I have either.
He seems like the type to go out of his way typically to avoid doing that.
Well, and also, when he calls them over, it's like he said they were expecting it to let them know, like, this ain't acceptable.
I think they was going to be in trouble.
I wonder if, like, one of the, let's just say a player who isn't always giving 100% in practice was giving 100% today, and then they got called in, and they were like, no way. No way are we about to get yelled at for this.
Right.
I'm busting my ass out here.
That's what's up, though. Out of a bye, to have a practice like that has, Deion Sanders, again, we know he has high expectations, particularly in practice, something he talks about all the time, that he needs to see it in practice from individual players before he can see it in the game. I think it's a big deal. And again, I don't think Coach Prime would go out of his way to say that in a press conference if he didn't really feel good about what he saw out of his team, today in particular in practice.
The quote is actually, what I'm seeing right now is a playoff team. So that's what he said. That's
awesome. And they absolutely are capable of that. And what a great way for this schedule to have worked out that, it's, I don't know, it's kind of like when you're doing like an intense workout and you're in like, you've got one set left and it's just like, let's just empty the tank right here.
Yep.
It's like you got 4 games left. Everything that you have, just empty the tank. And, hopefully you have a month or, a couple weeks to recharge if you need to at the end.
Right.
But it's one of those things where it's just like, from a focus perspective especially.
Yeah.
Where you need these guys to lock in. It's just like, hey, our dreams, our goals, our aspirations are all right in front of us. From a mental perspective, empty the tank. Lock in for however many hours a day. It's really not even that much. But right now is the time to just be as much in as you've ever been.
For sure.
Yeah.
When you had a nice mental break before that to get into this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a good analogy. It's like those workouts, like you doing sprints or like, core planes. Like, give me 30 more seconds.
Yeah.
It's like, give me 3 more weeks. Give me 4 more weeks.
Yep.
Give me 1 more month of your best work. And again, with the schedule too, it's almost like 3 different seasons.
Yep.
3 different 4-game seasons within, one campaign that you can really lock in at a time. It's
That's how you
worked
gotta
out well.
break it up, though. It's like, be successful. Like, you can't think about it as like a 12-week
No,
run,
exactly.
14-week run. Like, you're going to wear yourself out by the time you get halfway through it, especially with how these bye weeks worked out for CU. I think it's worked out really well for them to be able to segment the season like they have.
Definitely.
So. Coach Prime was asked if he feels like this team is ready for the opportunity, obviously. Climbing the standings, CFP tonight, there's a lot at play.
That opportunity?
I would hope so. That's what we trained for. I mean, this is one of the few teams in the country that's been lied on, cheated, talked about, mistreated. That's the song, isn't it? Lied on, cheated, talked about, mistreated. That's like a gospel song. I know that went over everybody's heads in here but a few, but that's a gospel song. That's pretty darn good. Who is that? One of the Winans? One of the Winans saying that? Yeah, I think my girl Vicky. I think Vicky Winans spit that. She killed that. I used to love that song. But honestly, man, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We've been through a lot, and we're prepared for the moment. We're not shying away from what we expect. We expect to be in this. We expect to be where we are. We expect to be better than where we are, honestly. But we're here, and we're thankful, we're happy, we're excited, we're elated, but we're not done. And we cannot wait to get to Lubbock to do what we're gifted to do.
Kind of a range of emotions from Coach there, you know, singing the song and then truly thinking about his answer and about what this team has been through to this point. And I feel like he almost wanted to say, damn right, we're ready for the moment. Like, we've gone through all this. Like, you don't think we're ready?
It's always the moment for them. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. And, you know, it goes back to when Zay Weaver got to Arizona. And the coaching staff was like, man, this guy is unflappable.
Yep. Yeah.
He's incredibly locked in. He's prepared. And, you know, I think they said, like, the moment's never too big for him. And it's like, yeah, because it's, like I said, it's always the moment when you play for Coach Prime's Colorado Buffaloes. Every game is the moment. And Shedeur said that, and Coach Prime referenced it today about, you know, every game being someone's Super Bowl.
Yep.
And now, remember early in the season when I said you have to make it your Super Bowl too.
Yep.
Because you can't let a team come out and be more prepared than you, or not more prepared, but more jazzed up than you, more riled up than you. And I feel like they've learned that. They now know the intensity they have to bring into the games. But it's, you know, the moment doesn't change. Mm-hmm. It's always the moment for them.
That's also why I think that Nebraska game was so pivotal to the success of this team since that week. Because obviously I think they all went into this season knowing that they were a good team, that they had plenty of talent, and they probably saw that obviously in week 1 against North Dakota State. But I don't think that team was ready for the atmosphere, what they were walking into in Lincoln, where, like you said, especially Nebraska, every team, it's their Super Bowl against Colorado, but it means something extra to Nebraska, especially when they're at home. And I think since then, that was a real wake-up call that this team needed. And since then, they still had a couple of slow starts, but there hasn't been a game since that Nebraska week where it's like this team is just unprepared. They just come out not ready for the moment. And I think that was just a moment that this team, as a group, kind of needed to experience together.
Mm-hmm. When Coach Prime was very reflective there, and caused me to be reflective about it. Like, you know, when you watch a TV show or a movie or you read a story, like, I feel like the part that locks you in is the character development, right?
Right.
Think about this team, man, and the character development that it has undergone from really when Coach Prime got here, but even if you just want to go from week 1 to now. And you mentioned that Nebraska game. That was a pivotal moment for these guys to look in the mirror and ask themselves who they want to be. Then you just think about, like, how they started in the Colorado State game. It was a little nervous. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I think it was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. And then, you know, that all the things about, like, late starts and how that causes them to get off on the wrong foot sometimes. And then that's all culminates up to the last game. 8 o'clock start. They come out strong, score. You know, like, it's kind of like we're seeing this team in real time mature and become who they can be right in front of our eyes. Yeah. And this could only be like the rising action that we're witnessing right now.
Yeah. I think that's why he kind of held back there and why he really thought about what he was going to say, because this team has been through a lot, man, and it's inspiring to see. I'm sure Coach is inspired by it, and I'm sure already he's so proud of this team, but there's so much more left to go that he can't really, like, say that right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Did you get the Shedeur story? Coach Prime was asked about Young Dolph's kids coming. Was it the Cincinnati game?
Yep.
Yeah.
And hanging out with Shedeur and all them, and he kind of took that question as an opportunity to tell a story about Shedeur that I thought was really cool. So here you go.
Tremendous. Well, I gotta give Shedeur a tremendous amount of credit for just the young man he is away from the game. I know you guys see him doing his thing, but he's been doing that since high school, man. You know, we got footage. Bucky got receipts on that. So that's really who he is. But his heart is phenomenal. I don't know if you know it, but we had a guy, I'm not going to call his name, jump into the portal, I think this offseason, that didn't have furniture in his home. And although he had an NIL deal, but he didn't have furniture, Shedeur bought him furniture. Loaded them up. He then jumped in the transfer portal and didn't even say thank you, or didn't even say bye. But he don't trip because he's blessed enough to do it. But that's who this young man is. And he's always been, that's why I call him grown. He's always been mature for his age and for the stage of life that he's in right now. He has a sense of humor, sense of maturity, and he's a phenomenal human being. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him as a young man.
Jacob Polite in the comments dropping, wasn't me.
Oh my God, that's
so
hilarious.
funny. I never want to hear another thing about Shedeur and he can't lead and he's a terrible person and all this stuff. Never want to hear it again.
Speaking of people who hopped in the portal, remember when someone hopped in the portal and was talking about how Noah Fafita is paying for the walk-ons or whatever it was?
Damn right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Not, some acts can be done in silence. This was one of them.
Yep.
And it comes back up as just an anecdote and a story that Coach Prime is telling, but people don't understand the type of person in a kid, which he really still is, becoming a man that Shedeur is. And I think that he's actually mentioned this, but it's so evident in the way that he acts. His feelings towards having an impact on kids is really something to be seen. And I mean, it's no surprise given his father, who also takes a lot of pride in that. But, you see Shedeur, like the smile on Shedeur's face in that video when he went to, I think it was Casey Middle School, and he's the kids are singing perfect timing to him.
Yeah.
Or when he went to Fairview recently and he's walking through there and like getting mobbed, like he truly takes a lot of pride in the fact that he's having an impact on the younger generation. And he was hanging out with young Dolph's son, and just like, I don't know, you can tell that means a lot to him.
Yeah.
No doubt. It's a great point because, I mean, again, I watched that video and it's just a reflection of a young man who was just raised the right way in Shedeur. And, again, like you said, him being so in tune with kind of the younger generation and wanting to show them love. Like, I feel like Shedeur don't post on his Instagram story often, but when he does, he's usually
kids.
reposting something of like some of the kids, showing him love or whatever, like throwing up the watch or like dressing up for him like Halloween or something like that. Like that's just something, again, if you really pay attention to Shedeur, obviously unlikely that you're able to spend time around him, but if you really pay attention to the way he carries himself, the way he talks, the things that he talks about, I mean, this is just a special young man aside from the special player that he is.
Last thing on that, and I'm not going to ask you to say it, but did a name come to your mind when the story was told?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, let's take a break. And shout out our friends over at Bet365, my favorite book to bet on when it comes to football. The Buffs, 3.5-point favorites on the road now.
That has flipped, right? Almost 180. I think they started as 4-point dogs.
I
Really?
think so too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this line has moved like 7 to 8 points.
Whole touchdown damn near.
Wow. We'll get in on it on Bet365. And you can get in on the bet and get offer, where all you need to do is deposit $10, place a bet of $5 on anything. Once that bet clears, hits, or misses, $200 in bonus bets will be deposited directly into your account. Also right now, Bet365 is hooking you up with 2 months of Altitude Plus when you sign up with that code DNVR365. So get in on the bet and get offer and get your first 2 months of Altitude Plus courtesy of our friends at Bet365. It's a limited time offer, so sign up today. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Also, shout out to Westera Credit Union.
My
Jake's
friends.
BFFs. If you like earning money by doing the things you're already doing with your checking account, visit westeracu.com/smartmoney for more details. Westera Credit Union, it's an experience that you kind of have for yourself. If you've spent your whole life working with the bank, going to a credit union, a lot more hands-on. It's kind of like the difference between like working for a giant corporation and working for a startup.
Yep.
And when you work for a startup, you know, the CEO might know your name, probably does. And if you work with a credit union, there's a good chance that, you know, the people there might know who you are and become your friend like they did for Jake. So visit westeracu.com/sharpmoney for more details. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA. Restrictions and conditions apply.
Her alone, Bet365, code is DNVR365.
The Altitude Plus deal, by the way, is sick.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
2 months?
Mm-hmm.
That's what, like...
That takes you through...
It's a third of the season?
Yeah, almost to the All-Star break for the NBA.
Yeah, you're getting a third of the season for free.
There you go. All right, DJ McKinney was fantastic on the podium today, so let's get to his clips. He was asked about what he would tell Heisman Trophy voters about Travis Hunter.
I would say, man, he just student of the game first, and then he just all-out dog. Everything he going to compete 100%. He going to give you 100% every play. And he just loved the game. Like, he loved the game. And it's nobody else in the country doing what he's doing. I feel like the Heisman is for the best player in the country, right? That's Travis Hunter. So, yeah.
He's absolutely right, man. And I think the nation is starting to wake up to this, too, that he's just the best player in the country. He just is. He's different.
Very, very, very different. I think I was talking about this with you last week when we were walking up the stairs, and I was like, there's only like 3 players in the country who can even move the way that Travis does, and the other guys only play offense. Yeah. Like, he is like a complete and utter unicorn, and we are very, very lucky that we get to witness him playing in black and gold, and we can only hope that this team continues to win, which means we get to watch him a few more times.
Yep.
Honestly, one of the best times to appreciate what Travis is doing and what he means to college football is when he's on a bye week. Because whenever they're on a bye week and I'm watching college football across the country and I'm like, nah. Just nobody doing it like him.
Not even
just
close.
Nobody just exudes the same type of excitement that he does when you watch him play football. And again, like you said, there are some guys. Cam Ward comes to mind. I watched him this weekend. He's awesome. Heisman caliber player.
Yep.
But the Heisman Trophy winner this year, nah, it's just not Travis Hunter. And there's nobody up there doing what he's doing. Again, on both sides of the ball, the excitement that he brings to the game. And I'm glad, again, that he was able to make the rounds this week, go on College Game Day, go on Fox Big Noon Kickoff to really kind of launch this Heisman campaign on the national, stage, because he is more than deserving.
Such a great point. And I've made the Travis Hunter Nikola Jokic comp a few times here, but like when you watch the Nuggets, like you just never know what he's going to do. Is it going to be a pass? Is it going to be a shot? Is it going to be, something on the defensive end, like some sort of like tricky mind game that he plays with the opponent? And you don't get that from anyone else because no one else plays on every play. Travis Hunter, every single time the ball is snapped, you're like, what's going to happen? What's he going to do? He might do something we've never seen before right now.
I tweeted it before the Baylor game. I was like, the thing I get most excited about every game day is waiting to see what Travis Hunter does next. And then that game, he went and did insane things. So, last thing from DJ, he was asked why players should come to Colorado and what he thinks looking back on his decision to come to Colorado.
If you want a coaching staff that's going to be honest with you, if you want to be around players that are as hungry as you, like, if you really want to go to the next level, if you want to be around that style of play, NFL guys who've done it, seen it and done it and know what to look for and will help you develop, I feel like this is the destination. This is the best place you want to be. So I feel like this has been the best decision of my life of where I want to go, which is the league. So, yeah.
So you'd say it's lived up to your expectations
and
maybe
definitely
surpassed them?
Definitely.
Love it.
What a guy.
Awesome, man.
And shout out to him for just being up for the moment. He's been balling this season.
Yeah.
The only player in the Big 12 who has more pass deflections this season than DJ McKinney is Travis Hunter.
That's crazy.
You look at his tackles, what he's doing in the tackle game, too.
Oh, yeah.
The leading tackler on the team is obviously Cameron Silman-Craig, right? Second behind him is obviously Nikhai Hill-Green, right? Third is DJ McKinney.
Crazy, man.
Dude, he comes up field and plays the line of scrimmage really well.
He does, and he's big. He's got a long reach. It was just the wind hitting the thing over there.
I don't know what that was.
He's I mean, he is built to be a first-round pick at corner.
Yeah,
and that's what Coach
100%.
Prime has been saying from the day he got here. It's just about him, like, locking in and unlocking his potential. But he's certainly on the way. And when I watch him in the games, I see, like, a very intense focus.
Yeah.
He looks like he is really locked in. And imagine, like, that they don't want to go the other way.
Yeah.
So you have to be locked in every play.
Yep.
Like, there's a very good chance that it's coming to you, and that's why he has a lot of tackles. That's why he's had a lot of opportunities to make plays, and he's made a lot of plays. But it's got to be a crazy feeling being out there at corner, having a pretty good idea that the ball is coming your direction more times than not.
Yep.
And you mentioned him always being and looking locked in. You can say that for all these cornerbacks. Like, I've seen some clips where it's like,
Preston.
I think it was an NFL scout actually, where it's like when you turn on the all-22 film, all of their cornerbacks on every snap, they're playing the exact same technique, they're doing the exact same thing, and that's just a reflection of obviously talent, but coaching in addition to that. I think Coach Prime was asked about Kevin Mathis today, cornerbacks coach, and the job that he's doing, not only in the red zone, but just getting those cornerbacks locked in. Like, there are legit 4 cornerbacks on this team who have first-round NFL draft pick potential.
Yep.
And I don't know if you can say that about any other program in the country.
When I can't remember what he was asked exactly, but he was talking about DJ being that first-round mold for a cornerback, and I think he put that on Colton today as well.
Sure did.
So, last thing, Coach Prime brought up the tortillas that we're going to see on Saturday.
This was good.
We gonna get booed. I heard they throw, is it tacos? Fajitas? Tortillas? I said everything but the right thing, huh? I was around the area, though. I was around the area now. What is it again? Tortillas. Is that legal to throw tortillas? Yeah. But, yeah, we're going to try to make them empty those things. We're going to try to make them empty them.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good bye.
First of all, thank God they don't throw fajitas. That would be dangerous.
Or tacos, bro. Could you imagine landing on like a crunchy taco shell or something? Jeez.
For real. So, a couple takes about this.
Oh, here
One,
we go.
thank God we're back in the Big 12, man. We're just like real football.
They care?
Yeah, like they're like smuggling tortillas into the stadium. The only thing they're smuggling into the stadium at like Stanford is textbooks. It's just so nice to be back a part of football culture. Like, we're going down to Texas for a football game.
Yep.
That's like real American shit.
For real.
Like in LA, they're not even. I would say they're sneaking surfboards into the stadium, but they're not even going into the stadium. It's just a beautiful thing. Second, I don't know how I feel about wasting tortillas.
Yeah, man, that's rough.
Those are precious items.
I
Really
mean,
is.
honestly, though, and this might take us in a different direction, as long as they're flour tortillas, like, those can get wasted. Like,
Wow, bro. Wow.
all willy-nilly. Like, flour tortillas are disgusting anyway.
What are you talking about?
Corn tortillas is the way
look.
to go. That's the real way to eat a
right.
tortilla taco regardless. It's
I've
corn
learned
tortillas.
that I work with people who don't understand what good food is, so this is crazy.
Yeah, no.
This is insane.
Look, I love corn tortillas too.
Yeah, I know.
There's a time and place for both. What are you gonna put a big burrito in a corn tortilla?
I mean, I don't know if they make big corn tortillas.
I don't think they do.
So, yeah, that's a flaw in the theory for sure. But, like, yeah, I mean, flour tortillas are fine with a burrito. But, like,
Exactly.
if we're talking about peak tortillas, it's obviously corn. And Reef knows what's up. Shout out my boy.
That's crazy work. Final take on this. Bring back the marshmallow fights. I don't know if you guys even know about this.
No.
But back in the day, between the third and fourth quarter at CU, the students used to have marshmallow fights. So they would just sneak in big packs of marshmallows.
That's
and it would just be like, it would look like it was snowing in the student section. It was just marshmallows getting chucked everywhere. I know Folsom Frenzy tried to bring it back for a game, but they were like cracking down on them. Just let
that's
the kids.
lame.
It all got ruined because people started putting like batteries in them and then throwing them onto the field.
Jesus Christ.
You give them an inch, they take a mile. It's just drunk college students for you. But in a better way, bring back the marshmallow fights, man. Those were legendary. When I was a kid, that was like, I can't wait to get into the
That was
student
the
section
moment.
so I can be a part of the marshmallow fights. Also, wasting marshmallows, much more palatable.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. That'd be cool.
All right, let's take our final break. We got a couple more things to get to before we get to questions.
Cheese on a tortilla would probably slap.
But get your questions in the chat now. Shout out to the homies over at Breckenridge Brewery. You guys know what it is. Breckenridge Brewery's been partners with us for a long time, since the beginning, really. And they're just awesome. Go hang out at the farmhouse down there in Littleton. It really is, you call it a campus, basically.
Yep.
It really is awesome. I can't wait till we get to go back. Scott will get to experience it, too.
Breckenridge Brew
Can't wait,
University.
bro.
Yeah. Pretty.
That's tough.
You can try out their West Coast style, new West Coast style IPA. It's called the Ridge Runner, a double dry hot brew inspired by the untamed beauty of Colorado's trails and creates notes of bright citrus and pine. It is fall, but it's always Mountain Beach season, if you ask me. Mountain Beach Sour. It's my favorite Breck brew. We got to get Scott on the Breck brews. We'll find out what his favorite is. But check out the beer locator at www.breckbrew.com to find a Breck brew near you.
Also, come on and check out the events we have left, including we're going to have a big tailgate in Kansas City for the KU game. We're obviously have 2 more home tailgates. They might be early, but we'll still be there. I'll be there bright and early. Jake will be there less,
be there,
more
bro.
bright, less early. But we'll be there hanging out, enjoying, having a few before we head in. We'd love to see you guys, and if not, just come down to the DNVR bar, check it out here. The food reviews are the best they've ever been. Everyone that tries the food here comes away raving right now. So shout out to Chef Rob downstairs. He's
Chef Rob's the
quite
homie.
literally cooking.
He really is. He's awesome. Love that guy. All right. Quickly, just a minute here on recruiting. Indiana. Crazy. They got an on-3 prediction from Wiltfong, I think, for Byron Baldwin to actually stay. Did he decommit from
I
Indiana?
think he did.
So to recommit to Indiana?
That's crazy, dog.
Yep.
But Steve Wiltfong also already put in a prediction for him to flip to Colorado, too. So Indiana's battling to get him back, it seems.
Okay.
But that came in today. And also, this came through from, I want to get his name, but it's the Jim Coyle. He is the guy who does Indiana Rivals, basically.
Okay.
He said, for what it's worth, I've been told that Juju Lewis will not be in Bloomington on Saturday for the Indiana versus Michigan game.
So this would be 2 times now that they thought he was going to be there, but he wasn't.
And I think this visit was rescheduled because he didn't show up.
Oh,
the last
yeah,
time.
right, yeah.
Yep.
So take that for what you will.
Anytime now. Someone asked, did they do the marshmallow fights when C was a winner when they sucked? Actually, when we were good. Yep.
And then last thing before we get to questions, CU basketball, a tale of 2 halves last night. It was a wild game to watch. They damn near had as many more turnovers than points before halftime yesterday. And then they just come out, they kind of empty the bench a bit. Guys get more comfortable. It's a lot of new moving pieces and stuff. But Colorado actually does pull out a 20-plus point win over Eastern Washington. And you had an interesting comp for Sebastian, was it Ranchik?
Ranchik. Bro, true freshman, first game. What does he go, 4 for 5 from 3?
Yeah.
Pulling it up.
To
Team
me,
high 13 points.
yeah, to me, I saw a young Tristan Da Silva out there. And what's crazy is that at this stage of Tristan Da Silva's career, a true freshman in his first game,
Yeah.
he wasn't even like, no one expected anything from him ever. And he becomes a first-round pick in the NBA. I was really impressed with what I saw from Ranchik last night. And I don't know what we're going to see from this team on the large scale. There's a schedule, a part of their schedule where they go like against number 2, against number 5, against number 4, and against number 6 in like 4 straight games.
Yeah,
as
rough.
The preseason ranking. So they're going to have some really, really tough games. But I appreciated the way they battled last night. And I know Tad Boyle liked it because they went to Boyle ball in the second half. They decided, okay, we're going to play defense. We're going to rebound. And guess what? They won the game. So this is the beginning of a process. Tad's been recruiting really well.
Yeah.
So hopefully 2-3 years from now, this team actually can compete
Yeah.
with some of the big boys in the Big 12. But this year is about seeing some development from some of these young guys, and Ranchik last night was exciting.
Led the team in scoring with 13 points. There were 4 Buffs in double digits. Trevor Baskin had 12. Julian Ruffin had 12. And then Andrei Yakumovsky had 11. Do you have anything you wanted to add, Scott?
Yeah, I liked what Baskin showed kind of in his debut as a Buff, right? The D2 transfer, 6'9". He was really active on both ends. I think, like you said, 12 points, 3 or 4 from the field. I was surprised he didn't start, honestly, but I would expect that that's a move, an adjustment Tad makes here moving forward, inserting, Baskin into the starting lineup. He kind of looks at this point to me like he might end up being their best player, at least most consistent player on both ends of the floor. So, again, Coach Boyle is taking his, risks on kind of, D2 guys. Elijah Malone being another one of them, big guy. But I think Baskin is somebody who could, have this team in some games maybe they shouldn't be against some really good opponents.
He might be their best player.
Yeah.
And I thought both Dak and Jope looked like they definitely took a step forward. Looking a little more fluid on the court. And defensively, those guys cause issues.
This team has length.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Tad Boyle went out of his way so many times last season to give BD love and to say that, Bangor Dak has a real bright future here in Boulder. So I'm excited to see his development continue this season and what he's able to do for sure.
Last thing, I liked a few things that I saw from RJ Smith as well.
Yeah, he had some moments last year, too.
And, I mean, this team needs shooting desperately. It looks
Yeah.
like he can bring it for them. And Sebastian as well. So, that's good.
Buffs play again on Friday against Northern Colorado at 7 p.m. Alrighty, let's get to the Toyota chat and super chats here. Dave DeBoss says, do you guys think CU beat Texas Tech 45-7 in Lubbock? If they do and CU plays in the conference championship game, I will treat the DNVR pregame show to barbecue after the game. Book it. Let's go.
It's an intense parlay you're building there.
Yeah.
45-7 would be a tall task. But I'd love to see it. And I'd love to take you up on that barbecue dinner.
It'd be a statement. Artemis asks, who will be the 2 broadcasters for this Saturday's game in Lubbock? I don't know. Joe Clapp put out the eye emojis, though.
Well, this Saturday, though, is...
that was for Utah. You're right.
Yeah. I think it's Heward.
Oh, okay. There you go. What's up, James? He says, what is the best bowl game possible for the Buffs if they don't make the playoffs? Off the top of my head, it was the Alamo Bowl,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Wouldn't hate it.
Everyone's complaining about the Alamo Bowl.
Let go of hell.
Exactly.
Let go of hell.
I will say, RC, our trusty social guy,
Yeah, my
said
guy.
he's been to 3 Alamo Bowls. He would just love to go to a different bowl game. I can respect that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Adwalk says, will we see Tyler Brown on defense this weekend? That's something that should have been asked today that I think kind of slipped through the cracks. But eyeball emoji. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised.
Yes, I would be surprised if we see it. I think it's more of on a need basis. So hopefully they don't need that.
Yeah.
Well, and then speaking about that, I meant to touch on this today. Coach Prime was asked about the status of Shane Cokes and Deion Hayes. It doesn't sound like Deion Hayes is going to be coming back anytime soon.
Got to give credit to Brian for asking because it's very clear Coach Prime doesn't like answering those questions.
Yeah. On Shane Cokes, he said he's doing okay, still up in the air. He said Deion Hayes is not playing. When asked if Deion Hayes is done for the season, Coach Prime said again, he's not playing.
And then he reiterated what I believe was told before, which was that TC is out for the season.
Yes.
He had said that previously.
Jay says, how many subscribers did you have before Coach Prime? I've watched every show since the rumor started. It's been a great ride. Congrats on 100K DNVR. Proud of all of you.
I don't remember.
I think we were on 26K.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Has BCP caught on?
I don't think so.
It's kind of elite. I'm not gonna lie.
That is.
And then that was post Avs championship, right? But pre Nuggets championship.
It was post Avs, pre Nuggets. Yes.
Yep. So that there's a little run there, but we know.
Oh yeah, we definitely know. Slim says Juju canceled his trip to Indy and no USC in any social bios. Is he coming to see you or what, fellas? Stay tuned.
Trying so hard to not be just jaded about recruiting.
I know.
Just
hang
be
in there.
patient.
Just hang in there, guys. DJ Flame, our guy, what's up? He says, "What's up, gents? As always, F them Chiefs, yes sir. If you get a chance, read the $100 super chat I sent after you hit the 100K subs. It was a lot going on, and I want you to see it. Lastly, squad, we a problem for anyone. Salute the FDP."
Well, thank you for the massive super chat, DJ Flame. We appreciate you.
I don't think we can go back and find that.
You
unless
can.
go
You
on
can
the
look
stream.
at the live chat.
Oh, okay.
You can go. Yeah, we'll go back and find it.
We appreciate you, though, DJ Flame. Another one from DJ Flame. Actually, one more thing. What a weekend. Forget everyone else. Let's handle our business, and they won't be able to deny us a spot. How about these NFL trades? Love the shirts. Hashtag
Traver else.
and hashtag we want Juju. I've seen some of the NFL trades. Marshawn Lattimore to the Commanders, I believe.
Yeah.
The Cowboys made a crazy trade for Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah, which was weird.
Kind of a weak trade line day, honestly.
It always is in the NFL.
Yeah. True.
Lattimore, like the Lattimore trade is like as big as it really ever gets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the biggest one for sure.
It's a good fit for them.
There's nothing else that really caught my. Truth be told, I haven't really dug in today yet, too.
The Broncos trading Baron Browning for a sixth didn't move you.
No. I just want the Broncos to get me my 6th win. Then anything else, whatever happens, happens.
Let's get that this week.
Yeah.
Who they got this
In the
week?
words of DJ Flame, F them Chiefs.
F them
Oh,
Chiefs,
yeah,
man.
true.
Dude, what happened to Mahomes? I was watching the basketball game.
Nothing.
Someone when he got hurt?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked scary. It looked like a little
Yeah, somebody-
non-contact, and then
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, did you ever see when his kneecap moved out of place and then he just moved it back?
Yeah,
and it was
here.
fine. Yeah, exactly.
Ridiculous.
Dude's like made of clay
He really is.
and not dry clay.
Matt Goldstein says, where do you think Coach Prime should rank in coach compensation? I think he needs top 10 or 9 million with extension. Currently number 38 at 5.6 million.
yeah.
Give him whatever he wants.
I think first off, I think the bare minimum should be that he's the highest paid coach in the Big 12, which isn't currently the case. I believe he's 3rd. So that should be the bare minimum, whatever number you want to put on that past that. But I think based on what he's done for this university in terms of revenue, ticket sales, all of that viewership, he should at minimum be the highest paid coach in the conference.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hand him a blank check.
Give that man his money.
For real.
We already know what happens. So the money comes back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hoop for says heard CU can still finish ahead of 11-1 ISU. Would mainly require Cincy to finish number 4 ahead of Kansas State. We'd obviously prefer an ISU loss, but still away. Is that I haven't gone through all these scenarios, so I thought Iowa State had to lose.
No, there's a path. It's not necessarily Cincy. So it would the easiest one would be Texas Tech, because that's who Iowa State lost to.
Mm-hmm.
So if Texas Tech were to find a way to lose to Colorado this week and then still get sole possession of 4th place in the standings by the end of it, then Colorado would have the tiebreaker over Iowa State. There's a couple other ways of it happening, but that's the least messy. But truly the least messy is just Iowa State loses one more game to anyone and Colorado wins out. And I don't know, man. Iowa State kind of feels like now that they don't have the magic,
Well,
Could go downhill.
Yeah.
They've been teetering for a couple
well,
weeks.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
They should have lost to UCF.
Yes,
Yeah.
they should have.
So now they have tough games ahead of them. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose 2 more games.
Shout out to Laura with the super chat. Reminder to buy tickets to the November 19th women's home basketball game / Peggy's 100th birthday celebration at the game. show up for our favorite Buff ladies. Let's pack the CU Event Center.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Speaking of women's basketball, shout out Bossy, who balled out last night in her first game. So, love
The
to see
Buffs
it.
won last night, too. They beat Wyoming, I think, by 6.
Good point.
Last one from our guy, Jacob. Excited for you guys to get to Lubbock. Y'all feeling Mexican food or barbecue? Let me know. I'm down
What a
for
Sophie's choice.
Yeah, I love both them options. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have... Technically, we could do both because we could do dinner Thursday night and then dinner Friday night.
We'll figure it out. I'll text you back, Jacob. I'm not ignoring you. I got you. Anything else?
That's all I got.
We'll be back tomorrow. We do have press conferences tomorrow. I think it's 3 players. And, yeah, I mean, shoot, tomorrow's our last show in studio until next week.
Sheesh. Man, these travel weeks, they
I know.
fly by.
They really do. I'm excited. It's going to be a bunch of fun. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.